What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. As you guys can see from the title, we're going to be talking about the Jebao SLW10 powerhead and pretty much talking about how it's been so far in the past 24 hours. I also just wanted to give you guys a quick update on the aquarium as you guys haven't seen it in a few weeks. There's a couple small tweaks and changes, but let's go ahead and talk about it. So real quick for the updates, unfortunately my bang-eye cardinal fish has passed away, so we only have the 2 clownfish in the aquarium. Of course, I don't want my fish dying, but at the same time, I am a bit happy that I'm able to just have my pair of clowns in this aquarium. It gives the fish enough space to kind of get away from each other as they are somewhat fighting. I think they're going through the process of deciding who's male and who's female. I think this one is becoming the female because she is much bigger and she's the one that picks on that one. So anyways, 20-gallon tank all to this pair of clowns. Second update is that all the coral is doing pretty freaking well, except for this one leather at the top. We'll have to kind of figure out what's going on with him. It was that he wasn't getting enough flow, but now that we have the power head in, we'll see if he makes it. If not, might have to take him out because he is slowly starting to lose tissue, which is not good. So everything else is doing pretty good. We've got the Kenya tree, green star polyps, of course. The Gorgonia is doing amazing. That thing is so lush and full. The hammer's doing good. The Duncans, everything seems to be responding really well to this new power head. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the review on the SLW10. So it's kind of hard to do a full review on this power head considering I've only had it up and running for about 15 hours maybe. And so it's only been running overnight. Right when I plugged it in, it kicked up a huge amount of detritus that was in the aquarium. As you guys probably know from my last videos, this is the first and only power head that I've had in this tank. The only flow was coming from the surface skimmer in the back from Eheim and the return pump, of course, which I had the return nozzles pointed at the top because I wanted that surface agitation, but we weren't getting a lot of internal flow inside the aquarium. In aquascaping this tank, I had the idea that I was gonna have a channel running through the back of the rock, which is exactly what we have, and I wanted a power head to pretty much push water behind the rock and have it bounce and come across the front of the tank, and that's exactly what we're seeing. A lot of that detritus that was sitting in the back was just built up over time because there's no flow back there, but once we plugged in this SLW10, it kicked up all that detritus and got filtered out. Super nice. And then of course the flow comes back across the top. One thing that I really noticed on this Kenya tree when I plugged in the power head is that everything seems to be sitting more up, if that makes any sense. The coral seems to have better posture, is the best way I can put it. This leather right here was pretty much sitting on the sand bed, and now you can actually see the trunk of the coral or the base of it, which is super cool, and it shows that all this flow is getting really up and under these corals, which is nice. So the power head's doing amazing. It's kicking up all this extra stuff that I didn't even know was in the tank, and it's just essentially doing what it needs to do. It was quite difficult to set up as there's a couple different magnetic pieces and stuff, but what I ended up doing is not using this rubber grommet, which I'll get out so you guys can show, or so you guys can see. This rubber grommet has a small little like taper to it so that you can slightly move and adjust the power head so that you can point it in different directions. I didn't use that because I knew that this power head would be pointing straight towards one direction, and that's pretty much what I wanted to use it for. It was also quite difficult to get the magnets to stick while using that rubber grommet, so I figured I should mention that because there's no videos on how to set this thing up. So all I did was used the one magnet that sticks to the actual power head side, and then I used, of course, the outside magnet that has the text in writing on the outside of the aquarium. So that's how I'm running it without the rubber grommet. I know it's a lot of talking, but like I said, there's not a ton of videos on this power head. So if you guys are looking for it, that's how I have it set up. Please let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any questions. I'd be super happy to answer them in regards to setting this up. In terms of controlling it, I've used Jebao's pumps before. I've had their OW20s. I don't know what the exact model number is or what they were, but they were a much higher wattage and more aggressive power head. I had those running. I had 2 of them in my Innovative Marine 30 long as well as my SCA 66 gallon. but they're just way too much for this tank, so I went with their Nano SLW series. But the pump is pretty much the same. So you have a speed setting, you've got a mode setting, and then a like Wi-Fi feed setting, and then this knob right here controls the actual speed of the power head. So there's a bunch of different like wave patterns, but then you can also change the power intensity as well as the speed. So there's a lot of adjustability in this power head, and that's one reason I love Jebao pumps. Like I said, I've used these before, so I wasn't concerned on the reliability or this thing even working right out of the box. Of course, after plugging it in, the thing started working instantly. The controllers have never given me any issues. I know some people have had struggles with Jebao pumps. I'm sure it was just maybe a manufacturing flaw for that single pump, like, you know, just a lemon pump, but I've had great success with these pumps. That's just my personal opinion and experience. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with these pumps, they are a like knockoff version of the Nero 3, which I'll throw up on the screen so you guys can see that. It's Aqua Illumination's take on a power head. As you guys know, Aqua Illumination makes LED lights, but like Radeon, they've also jumped into the pump game. So Aqua Illumination makes a Nero 3. Jebao makes the SLW10, which is the like replica version of the Nero 3. The Nero 3 runs in retails around $150, while this SLW pump I got, I think after shipping and taxes, like 60 bucks on Amazon. So it's about half the price. It's more than half the price off of the, I guess, Nero 3. But you know, you get what you pay for. I haven't had any issues, of course, with this pump yet because it's so brand new, but I'm sure in the future I will run into maybe some reliability issues, but I will definitely let you guys know. But, you know, saving that $80, $90 on buying this SLW10 instead of the Nero 3, I think it was worth a shot to try it. Another thing that I noticed is that the clownfish seem to enjoy the extra flow in the tank. The big clownfish has been swimming against the current for like the past few hours and just seems to be getting almost like a workout in. So the fish seem to love the new flow. All the coral seems to be responding really well. The lights have only been on for about an hour and a half, so most of the coral is not fully open yet, but yeah, everything is doing great. I couldn't be more happy with this Innovative Marine Nuvo 20. The thing is silent too. That's another thing that I'd like to mention. All the pumps, the water flow, everything is so quiet on this tank that, you know, it's just so nice to enjoy it and sit back. The power head was the last tool, or I guess piece of equipment that I needed on this tank. Other than that, everything is pretty much stable, self-automated. I want to get a couple little like goodies here and there for feeding, but other than that, this tank is going to be stocked and just left alone. So we're going to start stocking it up. If you guys have any suggestions on what you guys want to see in the tank, then please let me know. I plan on keeping it a softy dominated with some LPS in it. I'd like to keep the sand bed as clear as possible with coral and try to just keep it all on the rock. In terms of fish, I'm planning on just keeping my pair of clowns. I've got my sand sifting starfish that's just rocking, and I'll probably go and get a couple cleaner shrimps and some snails. But other than that, let me know in the comments down below what you guys want to see for coral. I might consider maybe like a cleaning goby or like a sand sifting goby or something. So if you guys have any suggestions for cleanup crew fish, then please let me know. But other than that, that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was kind of short, but just wanted to give you guys a quick update and let you guys know that the power head is in and everything is rocking and doing good. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.